Do you ever have flying dreams? You know, that's probably the best analogy for detachment. It's the best visual. You know, when you have these flying dreams, I just had one last night. And it's, you know, usually I'm flying over beautiful mountains and rivers and trees, and I don't know, seeing the tops of the trees in my dreams when I'm flying is so liberating. I feel such a sense of detachment from my human body, not like I'm trying to get away from my human experience. But, you know, detachment in those kinds of flying dreams, or you could even be swimming deep underwater, it's kind of the same feeling. And those kind of dreams about flying, it's a great analogy for detachment in the sense that it's not trying to bypass your humanness. It's remembering that you're bigger than that, that you exist beyond that. You have existed before your human incarnation. You're existing as a soul while you're in a human suit, and you'll go on. And you're this fractal of consciousness masquerading as a human for the moment. And in the context of eternity, it's a blip. But I'm going to give you some insight about detachment, about practicing detachment in a way that doesn't bypass your humanness, it doesn't bypass your soul, but it's going to give you this kind of refreshingly honest perspective on the art of detachment, because it is an art. And it's going to be the one you didn't know you needed. So let's start with what doesn't work with detachment. And I mean detachment in the sense of like, you're trying to manifest something really special in your life. And you have to understand the paradox of this, that the more you want something, the more you're sending a signal to the universe that you don't have it. You know, it's like a broadcast of lack, which is the opposite energy to be in when you want to say, this is my reality now, this is who I am. So the art of detachment becomes a really powerful premise. It's a tool, really. So what doesn't work, even though we'll try and try anyway, you know, we try to use all these techniques and these practices and these formulas, and meanwhile, you're feeling something uncomfortable. And it cues this kind of mental scramble to, oh, let's just fix it right away, let's hide it. Or I'll just pretend I'm fine and I'll just be in this toxic positivity and then hope and pray that what I want will manifest, and then I'll just have this thing, be this thing, I'll do this thing. And we'll do anything at that point, but actually feel it. Well, feeling those feelings is a big part of the process and the art of detachment, because those feelings, any feelings really, are not your enemy, but they're also not you. They're not you. They're sacred messengers. They act like tiny inner alarms that say, hey, my dear, something's ready to shift. Something's ready to move. And we're so busy practicing all the techniques and the formulas to manifest what we want that we just ignore them, because we think, well, I have to stay positive, I have to stay on point, I have to stay in this energy. And then it becomes forced. And what you're doing is pushing that reality, that desired, preferable reality away even more. This might sound very familiar to you. And here's the usual trap with this. You know, you decide, okay, well, I'll feel the fear and do it anyway. And we had this idea shoved down our throat for such a long time. Feel the fear and do it anyway, right? when we're in this space of like, I know I have to nudge myself out of my comfort zone. And lots of folks think that this is bravery, but it's actually bypassing with better branding. It's, you know, the feel the fear and do it anyway. It might as well be a poster hanging in your office, or like a little, you know, post-it note that you wrote and stuck on your calendar on that day you're supposed to give a presentation. And maybe you can name the fear. Maybe you can even journal about it. You know, maybe you can touch the heart of darkness that fear represents, but you still just plow ahead like a freight train on fire. And you think this must be how it's done. This must be how really successful people rise up and claim what's theirs. But that's the classic emotional bypass. That's like telling your inner child, the one that's clutching a security blanket and whispering, I don't feel safe, that I don't care about your feelings. I don't care. We're doing this. It's emotional mayhem. It feels like emotional mayhem. It doesn't feel good when you're in that space. And even if outwardly, you're playing a really good pretend game, maybe outwardly you look like you're slaying it. Maybe you look like you're, this this beacon for other people. Like, I want to be like her. I want to be like him. But inwardly, you feel like you're spiraling. Real detachment, that's not detachment. Real detachment is something else entirely. It's not numbing out. It's not ghosting your feelings. It's not feeling the fear and doing it anyway. It's not even pretending to be too zen to care. It's about softening. It's about opening up. It's about letting that messy, sacred river of your emotions move through you without building a dam to hold it back. Detachment, from a metaphysical perspective, it's a subtle teacher. It whispers. It says, shh, quiet that mental noise and just listen deeper. Listen to what's below all that mental chatter. Where most people try to control their emotions like a bossy life coach, detachment says, hey, you're savvy enough, you're sage enough to feel it all. Nothing is too much. You are not too much. The emotions start to lose their grip. Then you realize, I am not this feeling. I am an eternal soul experiencing, observing a feeling. And the stories start to unravel right then and there. The drama stops auditioning for a role in your reality. And you realize that voice in your head arguing with itself, telling you to do the things, the one asking questions and answering them, yeah, that's not you. Those are echoes of old survival strategies. They are phantoms of old misalignments to your true essence, your core essence. They're remnants from when you didn't yet know you were made of stars and soul and a little bit of sacred mischief. When you stop identifying with those echoes, something wild happens. Procrastination just melts. Your anxiety unhooks. Your self-doubt sits down and shuts the F up. Because you're no longer fighting your inner world. You're finally listening to it. You're just letting it flow through you without getting attached to it. You know why? Because you're in presence. In presence, that kind of pure, pristine presence with all that you are. It's bigger than you're human. It's how you stop searching for God in mountaintops or mentors, and you remember that you are that. You're all of that. You're all that in a bag of chips. You are source, dressed up in your favorite human outfit at the moment. When you live this way, life stops being a problem to solve, and it becomes a mystery to enjoy. Now let's talk about that for a second. On that note, let go of the idea that detachment is something to master. Don't put that pressure on yourself. Know that it works. Knowing it works to bring you the best that life has to offer rather than needing to know how it works is way more fun. It's way more fun. Because it's more fun to play with mystery than mastery. Mastery feels very rigid. It feels very stoic. And, it took me a while to realize this, but we might talk about it. We might have marketing and sales posts as metaphysical mentors. I sure used to about mastery. I don't think any of us is really here for that. Not really. It's way more fun to play with mystery than mastery. Play with the mystery of detachment and you return to your true nature. Ease, joy, passion, bliss, playful experimentation from your human perspective. That means there's probably snacks involved and some naps. And just like that, you move beyond emotional maturity or the need to master something, and it's into something much more delicious and more playful, which is emotional liberation. There you are in that flying dream. That's what's really going on in those flying dreams, by the way. On a subconscious level, it's the metaphor for absolute freedom. You're untethered. Emotional liberation. That's the holy grail of human life. No longer where you have to micromanage your emotions, wrestle them into submission, along with your thoughts and ideas and beliefs that corroborate or validate them. Instead, you start honoring all of that. It's just a byproduct of what came before. I let them move through. I don't need to wrestle life into submission. I'm going to surrender to its genius instead. I'm surrendering to this idea that life takes care of life, and I am life. You have no filter or experience of life without you living it. And you get to decide to surrender to the genius of that life force energy that just takes care of life. And once you experience that, you'll never settle for emotional white knuckling again. So keep listening, because I'm going to give you some beautiful permission slips that I invite you to engage in that'll give you more fulfillment today. Let yourself be met, just right here, right now, wherever you are, whatever's going on. Put your hand on your heart and just say, thank you. I forgive it all. I forgive it all. Because you are all of it. You are consciousness. Yes, you are a human fractal and filter of experience, of consciousness. It's just consciousness experiencing itself through one of many lenses. But here's the thing. We are all the lenses. You are all the lenses. You are everything. You are all that. You've played every part there is to play. You've been the villain, you've been the hero, and you'll continue to do that every time you decide as a soul to drop into a human suit. As consciousness, you are all of it. It's just that your focus happens to be on this particular filter of experience right now. And if you're really paying attention and listening to the energy, the subtle whispers underneath the echoes and phantoms of the past, beliefs and thoughts and ideas and assumptions about yourself, you'll realize life is offering you more love than you're letting in. So just say yes. Just say yes. Thank you. I forgive it all. Yes. Show me more. Practice radical receptivity. Don't just try to make things happen. You can't anyway. The outer you has no real ability to shift anything. It's all an inner game. Just, again, take that as you will. Let it resonate with you or not. But underneath these ideas that you can fix anything in the mirror of outer reality, that's the human ego thinking it's in charge of everything. That's your mind thinking it's in control. Notice what's already happening in your favor. Notice what's already working out. This allows you to feed the inner shift. It infuses you with delight. And when you are that, you get to treat your daily life like a scavenger hunt for joy. It rewires your nervous system for magic. And be willing to give love freely. No strings, no conditions, no expectations, just love. Because we need it. And because it feels good to be who you really are. You come from love. You are love. And you return to love. You're already the living embodiment of what you seek. You truly are, because you're everything. But you've trained your focus on something else up until now. But what's really going on is you are the new human. If you're listening this long, I already know that about you. You are the new human. That 2.0 version of human, just getting to know herself better. This version knows that you never lacked for anything. You're just remembering it wrong. Surrender, it's not something you do. Detachment, which is really the same thing as surrender, it's not a one-off experience. It's not something you do just one time. It's a path you walk. Welcome to it. You're right on time. And I'm going to give you one last parting shot here, and this one's a doozy. This is worth the price of admission. This is what you're really listening for. So lean in and pay attention. If you've listened this far, you deserve to know the ultimate secret for living in a state of blissful detachment, which is really being in the world, but not of it. Realizing that you are having this experience, but you are so much more. Ready? Okay, so here it is. That version of you you're trying to manifest, that idea you have in your imagination of this version or aspect of you that has this, is doing that, is being that. Be so devoted, so loyal to the version of you that already is all she wants to be, so that it is all you know to be true. It's like you're in a sensory deprivation tank. If you've ever been in one of those, it starves your senses, really. It cuts you off from the outside world. That's what it means to be so loyal, so devoted to the version of you that you desire so much, you're trying to manifest. She already is here. It's all already within you, but you have to starve your senses from identifying with everything you thought you were. Everything the mirror of outer reality is reflecting back to you, saying, this is you. Everything you thought you had to be, all the roles you had to play, the masks that you had to masquerade behind up until now. Act like she or he never existed, because, well, she didn't exist as anything more than a story, a phantom, a memory, an echo. And a memory is just a thought. And you get to drop that thought. And when you move into this identity of self as if it's already true, already here, you move in life from that version of you. Guess what? The masks, the roles, the ideas, the misassumptions, they fall away. All that will be left is exactly who you have always been, impeccably present as you. In full, pristine presence, there's nothing to attach itself to. So just be present with all that you are. Know that you already are all that you want. Train your focus. And you train your focus by, yes, basically ignoring the outside world, like you're in a sensory deprivation tank. Starve your senses from the things that keep telling you your identity. That's just an echo. It's just a phantom. It's just a memory. And a memory is just a thought. Drop the thought. Bless the illusion of what was. Forgive it, grieve it, and then release it. And if you need some help with that, that's what I do. That's my wheelhouse. That's my gift, to show you this kind of grace. If you like this video and this spoke to you, I'd love to know. Just let me know in the comments. Drop a couple words and let me know how this hit you in the feels today, because I really would like to know that. And if you do like this content, please hit the like button. It it really helps. It helps my channel, and it helps other conscious creators like yourself listen to this and move them too. And if you feel motivated to subscribe, I sure would appreciate that too. I put these out a couple times a week. I'm going to, at the end of this video, tag the video I did about loyalty to oneself and what that really means, because that's going to ground this message in even deeper. So go ahead and look for that. I'll also put it in the description of this video. And I want to thank you all for listening, and I wish you so much love and blessings and peace. Bye for now.